YouTube? This is GalacticGod, and I'm here today with a video to talk about an alternative way one can sell common Yu-Gi-Oh cards to make a profit. Now, as I'm sure a lot of you guys know, I used to buy huge amounts of Yu-Gi-Oh product, really by the box and even caseload at times. I would take all this product home, I would open it up, I would look through all the cards in the packs, pull out all the holographic ones, sell a good number of them that were worth money to go ahead and make up the cost of the case, keep a bunch of the ones that I wanted to for my own personal collection, and then have a crap ton of extra commons and rares left over. It would actually flood my whole house with all these commons and rares, and people would ask me all the time, what do you do with all those commons? Now, what most people pretty much assumed I did was sell them in bulk. Selling commons in bulk is kind of the traditional way one gets rid of all these extra common cards that people don't really need. Now, if you look up on eBay or Amazon or something like that, you can see pretty averagely that people will sell about 100 commons for roughly $5-ish. So you're not making a huge amount of money off of the commons when you sell them this way, because when you factor in shipping costs to ship 100 commons, you're probably looking at a couple dollars at least right there. So what I did when I was buying so many boxes and cases was I wanted to find a good way of getting rid of commons and actually making a pretty decent profit off of it. So what I ended up noticing was that when you buy the box or caseloads, you get a lot of the same archetypes within these kind of boxes. I realized I have like pretty much all of the Battling Boxers archetype, or a bunch of the Mecha Phantom Beasts, or Bujin, or Ghost Tricks, or whatever the case may be. When you're buying all these new boxes and cases, you get a lot of common cards that are part of that archetype. What I do is I go through the cases and I organize all the commons that are in there according to the archetypes that they fit. Now, there will still be quite a bit of cards that are non-archetype specific. They just don't belong to any particular archetype. They don't are not themed in any sort of way, but that's good as well because we will need those. So once I have all the cards sorted into the archetypes in which they belong, I start building decks from those archetypes. So I will make a complete 40 card deck. This is not going to be YCS level game winning deck, of course. This is something I equate this more to that of maybe a starter deck version of the deck. So let's take Ghost Tricks again, for example. I will put together all the common Ghost Trick cards that I have from either one set or multiple sets, and I will build a starter deck version of a Ghost Trick deck to sell up on eBay or whatever. And if somebody's looking to build a Ghost Trick deck and they type in maybe Ghost Trick deck for sale up on eBay, they'll see this starter deck-like deck pop up, and it's something that appeals to quite a bit of players, especially people that are first interested in just testing out the archetype or building it for the first time, or just want to gather all the cards for that particular theme. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, there's probably not enough cards in every archetype to fill up a full 40 card deck, and that's where all those extra non-specific, non-themed, non-archetype cards come in. If you actually pick up a Yu-Gi-Oh structure or starter deck, you'll notice that although there's quite a bit of cards in that deck that you'll get that are definitely very themed towards whatever the starter deck is, or the structure deck, or whatever, there is actually a lot of other cards that kind of go with it and then kind of seem like they're a little bit off the wall, or just generically good, or generically okay. And that's what I fill up the rest of those starter decks with, is the common cards that are not theme specific, but they just have a particular effect that you could throw that card into just about any deck. This gives me the alternative way of selling commons besides in a big bulk package. Now I can sell a deck of 40 commons, so I'm only getting rid of 40 cards now instead of 100, and I can sell the deck for between $10 and $15 instead of 100 for $5. So let's say I had 200 commons that I had organized into their theme specific archetypes and whatnot. So now instead of selling 200 bulk common lots for $5 each and getting $10 back, now I can sell 5 decks of 40 cards for $10 to $15 each, so getting a profit of $50 to $75 back instead of $10. And this was kind of the way I was able to make extra money off of the cases that I bought. Now, obviously this cannot work for everyone per se, because if you did not buy a big bulk amount of the same product, the same box, buy the caseload or just a ton of boxes, you won't be able to build these decks the way that I was doing. But for those of us who do this kind of thing, I think it's a pretty decent alternative way of selling common cards. Anyhow, in the comment section below, let me know what you think of my alternative method of selling commons as opposed to, big bulk lots or something like that. And I guess that's it for now. This is GalacticGod, out.